Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video I am going to bask in the glory and the epicness of the Western Fells here in the Lake District National Park. We're hiking up one of the mountains, one of the Wainwrights today, which is called Pillar. I've never been up it before. It's one of the best known, one of the favourite epic fells here in the Lake District, so I'm absolutely buzzing. I've wanted to go up this for years. Conditions are looking fantastic for photography. Let's get into it. So I'll talk you through all of the gear that I'm taking up with me today in a second, but I'm having to grab a photograph here straight away. I've just got my 24 to 200mm lens on. I'm zoomed in slightly, maybe about 30mm, not even. And I don't know if you can see the sort of stone wall here, just this beautiful, almost like a proper S-curve really, right near us. And obviously the wall then just takes you off into that beautiful epic background. No light or anything like that, which is, I suppose, a little bit of a shame considering, I mean, if you look back down towards Wasdale there, we've got a load of nice light and stuff down there. So yeah, could be better, but I feel like I just don't want to pass up on the opportunity. There's light, look at that, there's light. Oh, just as I said that. Hopefully, there we go. Hopefully that is a sign of things to come. So a very quick run through of all the gear that I'm taking up with me today. There's not a lot, so it's not going to take long. Shooting with my Nikon Z7 Mark I. I've had this for years now, absolutely love it. My 24 to 200mm lens, which will likely be on the camera for most of the day. However, I've also got my wide angle lens, which is the Nikon 14 to 30mm, which is an absolute beast, and I will never be without it when I'm out photographing mountains and places like this. I've also got my filters. I've got kind of an array of neutral density filters and a polarizing filter as well, which will likely get used today. However, the ND filters, don't know for sure, but probably not. And well, finally, really, I said there wasn't a lot. My drone, I've just got the DJI Mini Pro 3, and yeah, this is only 249 grams. This is an absolute beast. I just love that it's so lightweight. And you know, I can just bring it out with me in places like this and not add a ton of weight to my bag. And yeah, other than my packed lunch there in the top of the bag and a couple of spare batteries in these netted sections, that is it. A few of you eagle-eyed viewers may be able to tell I've actually reverted to my older bag for this trip at least, which is the Backlight Mindshift Backlight Elite 45 litres. So this is the biggest photography bag that I've got. A brilliant bag for hiking. I just wanted to maybe fit a little bit more in, and got my rain jacket in the front as well in those zip sections. That is it. Oh, and I should mention, I've just got my little travel tripod with me just to save a little bit of weight, because obviously we're going to be covering quite a lot of distance. It's the Benro TSLO8C. All of my gear, by the way, will be linked down in the video description below if you have any more interest. The conditions this evening, let me tell you, are absolutely amazing so far anyway. Again, if I just sort of spin you around a little bit, because this is where the action is at this moment in time, back down towards Wasdale, we're getting breaks of light all across this section here that we were photographing before. It's looking really, really promising. For most of the day today, it's actually been raining, and the forecast was exactly what we're getting here, for it to start clearing up as we approach sunset. Still about 3.5 to 4 hours till sunset, and it's supposed to clear up even more. So it's an ideal forecast to come out and photograph a sunset, because when it's been raining all day, it's actually been quite stormy. Not always, it's not a hard and fast rule, but you tend to get really nice sunsets because the atmosphere is still so wet. If I could give you any piece of photographical advice when it comes to taking photographs in mountainous areas like this, there is one thing that springs to mind every time, and that is to think about the longer focal lengths. Yes, like I said before when I was showing you my gear, I love my wide angle lens, and I wouldn't be without it in these sorts of landscapes. However, if I could only have one lens, it would be a telephoto. I just love picking off distant details and distant patches of light and subjects and mountain tops and cloud formations off in the distance as they drift across ridges, and oh, it just cannot be beaten. And I think, I say this a lot on my YouTube channel, I think the wide angle lens, being the landscape photographer's lens, is a little bit of a misconception, because you can get just as good, if not better, photographs with the telephoto focal length. Now, just to give you a little bit of context, it is around about there that we are headed to, and obviously quite a lot of low cloud up there at the minute, but it's cleared quite a lot even since I've been down in this valley. And like I said, the forecast is looking promising. Now, instead of flying straight up that hill to get to it, which I think you can do actually, there's a path, we're gonna veer off to the right and actually hit the ridgeline up at Black Sail Pass and then make our way across. I'm mad to make a little bit of progress now, so let's crack on. Wow, look at that. Absolute beautiful set of cascades there. That is gorgeous. This here is part of Galveston Beck, which actually goes down, if it's not obvious, into the valley, into Mosedale Beck, and then eventually into Wastwater, and then eventually into the Irish Sea, I suppose. But problem is, from a photography standpoint here, is that yes, the cascades are absolutely beautiful, but there's nothing behind them. It's very bland. You know, if we had some big mountains behind them, or, you know, if we could pick this beautiful, moody, gloomy section up, if we could drag that across to sit just behind the falls, then I'd be tempted to go down this kind of treacherous little path here, can't really even call it that, and, you know, try and use the cascades as a little bit of foreground. But yeah, without background, they're lovely, they're beautiful, but they're kind of just there on their own, and it's very difficult then to piece together a photograph. In saying all of that, however, having something behind the cascades here isn't the only option. And don't get your hopes up just yet, because this is just one of those little photographic sparks right in the early stages. But I'm thinking, is there any way that I can tie these cascades with that? With beautiful U-barrel there. Look at the shape of that peak. That is insane. So if there's any way, you know, I can perhaps get to the other side of this beck, frame up some of these cascades, yeah, with U-barrel in the background, that would be fantastic. I mean, at the very least, it's worth looking into, isn't it? Wow, that is beautiful. So I'm just going to make my way to the other side of the beck here, and funnily enough, I just had a quick check of the map, because I knew that I had to cross this beck at some point a little bit further up, or so I thought. However, I made quite a bit more progress than I first realised, because this is actually where we cross over the beck. This is the path that we're on now to get up towards Pillar and Black Sail Pass. Whoa! So, oh wow, look how it's opening up now. This is exactly what I had in mind. Look at that, how much the perspective can change so quickly just by moving around a little bit. Bearing in mind, we've not even thought about anything to do with settings or exposure or even composition just yet for the most part. I'm just thinking very basically, can I find one of these cascades to tie together with U-barrel in the background? I'm thinking I want to get a little bit further down this way. Oh, right, wow, it's a little bit dodgy, but I'm hoping it's going to be worth it. And this may be a little bit long-winded for some of you, but I hope those of you that are into your landscape photography can appreciate. I'm trying to show you the lead up to composition. This section here for me is so important, if not the most important part of photography in general, where you're just starting to build the foundations of a photograph. You don't just turn up to places and there's photographs everywhere. I mean, sometimes you do, in fairness, in epic places, but you know, sometimes you have to work, you have to move around, and this is one of those instances that we so often find ourselves in. And you can see now how I'm getting closer and closer to what was really just a hope. You know, oh, look at that with a little bit of cloud at the top. That is amazing. So, I mean, at the minute, there's only so much I can do because it's a little bit dodgy. But I'd love to try and get this particular cascade down in the foreground. And look at all the heather as well. That's just a bonus for the effort that we've made so far. So we're getting closer. So as you can see here now, we are right up and amongst all of these beautiful cascades. Oh, look at the heather. That is fantastic. And now, really, it's just going to be a little bit of trial and error. And we're at the stage now where there are only so many choices that we can make. This seems to be completely off the cards because, I mean, it doesn't seem to be physically possible for me to get that in the foreground because it's facing the wrong way. And then, you know, to get U-barrow off in the background. However, if you look at some of these ones here, again, it's kind of dodgy, it's a bit treacherous, I've got to really watch my step. But I think some of these ones here are going to work, but I'm determined to get some of this heather in as well because it's just absolutely gorgeous. Right, so I've got a couple of small ideas in mind. First things first is, I mean, if it's not obvious in this location, I'm going to get the wide angle lens on. And apologies if you watch me every week because I said this exact same thing in last week's YouTube video. However, this is such a good example of it once again that I have to repeat it. I always urge people to not faff about with your camera when you're trying to take a photograph. At first, in this stage, just try and take images and imagine images with your eyes. This can just be a distraction. However, I feel this rule doesn't apply when you're shooting with the wide angle lens because 14mm, like I'm shooting on here, is such a wide, kind of unnatural perspective that I feel that it's quite important to see your photograph through that 14mm ultra wide angle perspective. So that's why I've got this out, and I'm going to start using it to frame up some initial ideas that I've got. Right, I've finally set myself on a composition. I'm not 100%, I'm about 70% at best. I've not been able to get any of the heather in. I was trying to even get this little clump in here, but in the end I was just clutching at straws, and it was actually tunnel visioning the whole process here, where I was starting to get to that point where, you know, oh, I must have heather in the photograph, and I'd have been here all day. That's another thing here, like I have to get up this fell. I haven't got a load of time to spend here, unfortunately, because man, it is just absolutely beautiful, and I feel like it's the sort of scenario that deserves a lot of time. But really simple, we've got a crazy tripod position here and ultra wide at 14mm, and we're just in a nice portrait orientation. We've got pretty much exactly what I wanted, in fairness, you know, with U-barrow off in the background. He's in the top left hand third, and it is just a really nice classic ultra wide angle photograph that you'd hope to take out in the fells, or what I would hope to take at least. Now, settings wise, I'm actually shooting this at 1/8 of a second, which is a little bit of a quicker shutter speed than I'd ordinarily shoot moving water. However, look at it, it's moving so quickly. So 1/8 of a second's working perfectly. And at f14 and ISO 64, I'm not needing to use a neutral density filter to get that shutter speed. So it gives you a bit of an idea of how dark it is as well. But yeah, it's nice, it's not perfect. I hoped to maybe get something a little bit better and get some of the heather in, but it's all right, it's not bad. So what do you think? What do you think? A little bit simplistic, just all right, you know, not bad. I'm probably a bit happier with it than I'm maybe letting on. I think it was all right, but yeah, just a little bit frustrating because, like I said, I felt like there was an opportunity to get a really cool photograph there, but in all honesty, I just don't have the time. And it's not like I'm late or anything, it's just I can only give myself so much time on these hikes to take photographs as I'm heading up. And you know, a lot of that time, I suppose, this evening is hopefully going to be at sunset at the top. Although I just don't know what to make of this weather, man. The forecast is kind of wrong at the minute. This is supposed to have well cleared by now, but I don't want to tempt fate or anything and get my hopes really high, but it's been so many times when I've been out and the weather's looking a bit rubbish, and then bang, at sunset things start kicking off. So let's hope for that. I mean, in fairness, look at that, back towards Wasdale and Ilgill Head, there's definitely some nice light down in that particular valley at the minute, so that's a good sign, surely. Oh wow, so this is us kind of at the end really of Blacksail Pass now. It's so steep, I kind of wasn't expecting it. It's just a big staircase, but oh, the views here of Barrow and again back towards Ilgill Head that just keeps getting splashes of light every now and again. It is amazing. Really feels now like I'm in and amongst all of the big mountains, all of the biggest mountains in England, you know. It's fantastic. It feels, you know, this is as epic as you'd get in England, and it is absolutely gorgeous. So at the top of here, we're going to be met with a little bit of a crossroads. So if we turn right, that'll take us to, well, this fell here, like Kirk Fell, and then eventually Great Gable. You can go straight on, which would actually take you down into Ennerdale, past Blacksail Hut, if anybody knows that. It's a little hostel. I think, is it the most remote hostel in England? The UK? Maybe, surely not the UK when we're looking at Scotland and stuff, but yeah, that's a really cool route up actually that I was considering, because Buttermere itself is so close by. It's just at the other side of Ennerdale, which is always weird. I always find it hard to get my head around that Buttermere is only just over there, but then, you know, Wasdale's here. It's because it takes so long to drive between the two. But either way, when we get to this crossroads, of course, we need to take a left and start heading up our ridgeline now. So not actually too much longer to go. Wow, so yes, there we go. Oh, you can see where those people are there. That's the right turn that heads up to Kirk Fell and then Great Gable. Some beautiful atmospheric conditions up there. And getting some nice views back the way still. Oh, this is really stunning. And we, like I said, are taking this left-hand turn here. Oh yes, this is nice. Loving the little bits and bobs of blue sky as well. But look where we're headed to, man. Look, still looking so claggy. We can only hope. Oh wow, stumbling all over the gaff. Look at that. Oh, the views are getting stunning now. We can see, again, this is Barrow, just to give you some perspective, just the northeastern tip of Wastwater down there. Then beyond Ilgill Head, we can see a bit of Burnmoor Tarn, and then the light, oh, right back to the southwest. I think we can even see a little bit of Black Combe right off in the distance. That is gorgeous. The views are starting to get serious now. Oh, so is the wind. So is the wind. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That is absolutely epic. Well, I'm going to say it here now, and I mean this. That is one of the best views I have ever seen in the Lake District National Park. Wow, that is stunning. Oh, that's blowing the old head off. Gosh. In Wainwright's guide, he talks about the kind of northern face of Pillar, which is what we're sort of looking at here. It's gone quite dark all of a sudden. But I mean, it is so dark looking down here, honestly. And all of these black rocks, but he talks of how epic it is. And oh my gosh, he's not wrong. That is beautiful. Look, can you see the bits of light off in the distance? Oh, wow. Oh, what's going on there? Is this some sort of mad military exercise? Let me show you. I'll zoom in on this. Wow, that is amazing. What is going on there, just hovering away? Man, I don't know where to look. I suppose I should concentrate on the... Oh, the light's gone. The light has... White... The light's gone. It's really faded. I tell you what, madness. Oh, this is... I don't know what's... I'm losing my head. This thing's blowing my mind here, like, it's incredible. Is it landing? Oh, I'm missing the light and it's starting to come back. Right, I'm gonna move on up because also, just to top all of that off, I'm running out of time, man. It's less than an hour till sunset and I still need to get to the top of the Wainwright, or at least a little bit further up so we can shoot the sunset. Oh, whilst we move on, I want to say another massive thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. And if you've never heard of Squarespace, they are an all-in-one platform that you can use to build your own website. I'm going to have to talk and shoot here because these views are quickly disappearing. Now, my own website is through Squarespace, by the way. I've used them for several years now, since before I was sponsored by them. It is so easy. They've got loads of amazing, professional, polished looking templates. You choose one of them, stick in a few images and text, and before you know it, you'll have a website up and running. They've got amazing, award-winning customer service. So even though it is really easy, they've got like a live chat feature. They're always there to give you a helping hand. You might just want a website as a portfolio for some of your photographs to be seen, big and high quality. However, you can also sell things through your Squarespace website as well, which is what I do. My calendar is there at the minute on pre-order. I've got ebooks and digital designs, and I advertise my workshops on there. I wouldn't be able to run my business without it. So if you'd like to give Squarespace a go, head over to squarespace.com/Henry Turner, or hit the QR code or the link in the video description. That will get you a 14-day free trial. And if you like your free trial, use the offer code Henry Turner at checkout to get 10% off your first purchase, which will also help me out as well because it'll tell them that it's me that sent you. Wow, look at that, but I'm just going to press on into it. I'm going to press on into the clag because it's a promise that I've made myself over the past few years. I'm not going to turn around, unless it's dangerous, obviously. I'm not going to turn around for the sake of not getting views because I'm doing each of these Wainwrights one by one. So if I turn around in clag, firstly, I'll be turning around from a lot of them because it's always claggy in the Lake District. And secondly, it's going to take me so much longer. I can always come back up these fells. Look at this. Look at this state of it. Oh, I'm so gutted, I have to be honest, because the views that I have just witnessed on the way up there have been absolutely epic. Look how dark it is, man. You can barely see me. That's true to life. So I'm not changing my exposure settings because I want you to see what I'm experiencing. Oh no, I know I always say, you know, there's no point in moaning. Work with what you've got, but I mean, come on, how can I work with this? Flipping hell. But I mean, it just shows me how epic this location would be if we had light. Oh, I just can't help but imagine it. Fortunately, this clag is coming in and out every now and again, so there is still a tiny little bit of hope. Oh, and I have to be honest with you. I have to be. I'm late. I think I was faffing at them cascades a bit too long. In fact, no, that's not fair. I just probably set off from home a bit too late. Be honest with myself there. Oh, it doesn't look likely for me to get up to the summit of Pillar before sunset. It'll be touch and go. But even then, imagine if the light was amazing now, it wouldn't matter that, you know, I'm not at the top of the Wainwright at the peak, because there'd be epic views all around me here and I'd be firing off shots. We can only imagine. Welcome to the summit of Pillar. Another Wainwright, 10 minutes before the sunset as well. Oh, I just challenged myself for no reason at all other than I couldn't see anything, so thought I'd try and make it fun. Right, I'm gonna sit behind this little shelter here and eat my sandwich. Again, just trying to bring a bit of fun into it, you know. Oh, it looks so like weird and scary and eerie on the way up, just these big kind of gorges engulfed in cloud. Oh man, this would have been epic in the light, but it's one to remember, isn't it? It's one to come back to at some point in the future. Oh, ham and cheese, absolutely mad for this. Whew. Oh, by the way, when I was talking about my gear earlier, one extremely important piece of gear that I completely forgot to mention, it's on my head, the head torch. Actually, it might help for you to see me a little bit. I don't think I would have showed them because I don't know if they were any good, but I did take a couple of shots before helicopter gate, if you remember earlier. That might have been all right, actually. It was certainly when we had the best views. So I'll leave you with those photographs. I think there's a couple of them. There's no point in me staying up here now. I best just turn around and go straight back down. I've got a big hike to get back down to the car. It's cold, windy, and obviously I can't see anything, so I best just crack on. Thank you so very much for watching. I'm just going to pop it up probably one last time. My calendar's going to be on pre-order now, probably just for this weekend over the next 3 or 4 days, and that is it. If you would like to support this channel, the calendar's a great way you can do it, and the pre-order's the best time to get it because it's cheaper, there's free worldwide postage, and I make the effort to sign every single pre-order as well. So I'd be so grateful if you'd like to pre-order the calendar. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed it. Little bit of a shame that we haven't got the views up here, but it is what it is. It happens. Thanks for your support, ladies and gents. See us on the next adventure. Out!